Good morning. Morning, Leon. Hope you're well, mate. Little private stream this morning, I think. So I was a few minutes late. I was late just because I was late. No excuses. Hope you're well. A little bit more to talk about today. A few more things potentially setting up. I think a lot of people are on holiday mode. You know, obviously from tomorrow, my last stream until Simplicity starts. I am getting on holiday mode. I'm quite excited, although I'm not going anywhere. But I think it's after every few months, I need a little bit of a little break and refresh from the charts. Although knowing myself, I'll probably still be looking. But anyway, we'll see. So let's get into it, shall we? Let's get into it. Let me just get my pen up. Excuse me. How's your trading going, Leon? Have you been trading? You seeing any progress? Have a conversation, actually. What's your trading style? Seeing progress, yeah? Better than a few months ago. I'll let you type. Moving average, 1, 2, 3, ABC, going with trend. Yeah, simple stuff, right? Simple is always better. Simple is always better, in my opinion. Right, let's talk about, I'll let you type before I get on to. Good, I'm glad, mate. Yeah, I'll definitely be more active when Simplicity starts. There's obviously other guest streamers that I'm trying to get involved. There's, psychologists. I'm trying to really move it to another level when we relaunch the Trading Academy. I'm doing my full course breakdown, so I'm trying to do like hours and hours of a for you guys, it will be free, obviously, in the Trading Academy. Quizzes and all that kind of stuff. So I'm just trying to prepare everything for that, but hopefully it will be a lot better. Yeah, it does sound good. I'm excited. Okay, so today ECB I think is in 10, 4, 15 my time, so 11, 12, 1, 2, 3, 4 in about 6 hours. It is widely expected they're going to raise rates for the first time in a decade. Yeah, good, mate. Good, I'm glad. And this is the funny thing about news, is because I always say the same thing. Is this priced in? Is this not priced in? I'm always going to wait for the market's reaction to the news rather than the news itself. Now, what's interesting to see on this daily chart is, we have had a slight doji bar here yesterday. So are we losing momentum? A little bit of volume here. A battle between buyers and sellers. We've set off pretty decently from a 4-hour perspective over Asia. London opens in 20 minutes. It'll be interesting again to see what happens. I'm not expecting massive movement until that news comes out. Bias, I'm still going to sit on the fence. I understand that we're still in corrective and my bias is still down, but I'm really interested to see what the market makes of this today. I don't believe that any news out the ECB should be in general positive for the markets. I think it continues in the vein that we have been in for the last couple of months in inflationary pressures. In terms of euro US dollar strength, again, that'll be interesting to see. It's just a wait and see environment right now. And hopefully we get some movement because of that and some follow through, whether it be to the upside, right? Because from a daily perspective, if we do get a push on, like I said, it becomes a little bit like, less of a corrective. And then are we potentially moving to the upside? This is the key area for a trend change in terms of Dow theory, i.e. your lower high. So this is the key area because it's our latest confirmed swing. But it would put a little bit of, if we get a push on, if the market likes it, let's see. Be interesting. The dollar's the same. It's in corrective mode. My bias is actually, I don't really like this on the daily. So that dollar play that I was confident in is not really there anymore. So what I'm seeing on the market right now is, again, corrective, looks pretty good to the downside. If we're expecting euro strength, which technically from fundamental theory, you're expecting euro strength with a rate hike. Again, it depending on how you look at it, because is it priced in? What will the market rate of that rate hike? Will we go into a little bit of markets falling, in which case you're expecting that US dollar to rise on account of that? But technicals, i.e. the dollar being a safe haven asset, but technicals are right now are saying dollar down. So again, all I can do, I'm not going to predict this, but all I can say from a technical perspective, unless this turns into a complex corrective, which it could absolutely do, I'm not really liking dollar longs right now. So yeah, smaller time frames, dollar looks short. I have to say intraday at the moment, it looks short. Right, watch this today. A few things to look at. This Euro NZD should be up in here. I'm not sure why I put it down there. We'll have a look at Bitcoin first. The only problem I had with Bitcoin is this unfortunate 200 period moving average. I like Bitcoin shorts, right? I thought maybe we'd get an ABC. And at this point in time, I was thinking this looks quite good to the downside. We've continued, however, in this channel corrective. And obviously, we're getting that we had a push, an inverted hammer, and potentially looking that maybe are we finishing, i.e. very similar in terms of range to what we saw here, right? Do we now continue to the downside? So there's confluence there with a Bitcoin short from smaller time frames, depending on how far it goes, just purely because of this, right? We could be completing our evening star, in which case, as I said, volume kind of getting an uptick in volume here from our corrective. Does that mean bigger players are getting involved to sell into this? Let's see. I think it's a very valid argument. Now, I've put it on the list because some people like Bitcoin. I don't think I can take this, or sorry, I can't take this because of this 200 being in the way in terms of one-to-one. But the context here is good. So it's unfortunate that this 200 is there, right? Because we're in this steady state corrective, okay? Very nice steady state corrective, actually. Getting back to that 20, context is here. In terms of position, it's a really nice position. And this is where sometimes my mind goes to, you know the saying, always stick to your rules, but the second is know when to break your rules. And in some instances, if you get a really nice steady state retest or an ABC, and then you get your catalyst, which is great, you actually may get one-to-one here. Let's say we come back. If I zoom in, right? So let's say we continue this steady state and we push on up here, right? And let's say we get our inverted hammer, for example, coming on high volume for a catalyst to entry short, which means your stop is here, and that would roughly be, let's say it's something like this, 4613 pips, and you've got, well actually, yeah, you could get one-to-one before that. So it could be a trade for today. Let's see how that 30-minute goes. Like I said, this is a really nice steady state retest. Look at the lowering volume that we're getting. On London Open, you'd probably expect a little bit of an uptick. Yeah, maybe we could get that. Bitcoin shorts, I like where it is. Aussie Kiwi is another one that I do like. Aussie Kiwi 4 hour, right? Daily is on an uptrend. I like the area we're potentially breaking out from. We could look at this as B wave, i.e. our secondary trend within our primary trend. Notice price action here, although it's not a head and shoulders, it is looking pretty nice. It could also almost, for maybe a day or two later, be a breakout on the daily, looking at this cup with handle. I would prefer to take this on the 4 hour. So I did look at this last night, but there was no aggressive entry here. So I was looking at this here. Right, we had an uptick in volume, however, price action going into it. So if we take all these candles away here, this was just too steep for me for an aggressive entry. So it wasn't an aggressive, but it can be a breakout because we're coming up and we're tagging this area again. So context here, cup with handle, one corrective back in, pushing on. I'm simply looking for either another reload or an accumulation, a 20 period catch up. So today being Thursday, possibly something for tomorrow. 20 period catch up up in here for a breakout. If we do break out, looking for a breakout retest will also come involved as well. But again, I like that. Going with the trend. Daily's not extended. Weekly is good. There is a possibility on smaller time frames here. from our ABC corrective. So ABC, getting our initial basing structure. If we get something like this, we can also look for a breakout retest on smaller time frames. But Aussie New Zealand and Bitcoin shorts, or Aussie Kiwi longs, Bitcoin shorts, I do really like. I do really like. NZD CAD shorts, another one. Going with this longer kind of trend. Notice here the context is good. We've got some volatility to the downside. That's okay, but the area is pretty clear. First structure, ABC, push on, breakout, retest, move to the downside. Go with that longer trend. Certainly for me makes sense. I know oil is slightly coming off a little bit, but you know, I just think with this daily, look at the wicks we're getting. You know, it looks like a little bit of pullback to that 20. And we are on a trend. So I'm not going to massively go into oil for this NZD CAD trade. I just think it's in a good position. So NZD CAD potential breakout retest, move to the downside. Euro NZD. Euro NZD. Can't even remember this one now. Euro NZD is... I'm not going to talk about this actually. It seems to be pushing on a little bit more than I expect, and I don't think I want to trade the euro. Not that it's going to come today. You know, if the euro decides to weaken off, which it may do, you know, we can't just automatically assume euro strength. No, absolutely not, even though fundamental theory dictates it should be on a rate hike. But if we get something like this, maybe it's something for next week. Breakout retest, move to the downside on EN. Good position. We look at the weekly. You know, we can see that from a weekly impulse. Again, another slight ABC, wicks to the upside here, outside bullish engulfer, or outside bearish engulfer, coming on an uptick in volume. From a weekly perspective, higher time frame confluence perspective, this is great. You know, we can look at this as a lower high as well, from recent price action, potential movement and impulse to the downside. So I like the higher time frames on EN. It will just need a little bit more to potentially set up. And finally, Kiwi Yen longs. Kiwi Yen longs. We know the yen has been weak. Oh, that's not Kiwi Yen, that's Kiwi Swiss. Oh, why is that there? Oh, sorry. There we go. There we go. So from a 4-hour perspective, again, this is another one that is going to take some time. I cannot take this on a daily. I don't particularly like what we're kind of doing here. I would have preferred this to be a bit of a clearer ABC, I think. So this price action from a daily perspective, unless we get something like this, I'm not looking at. However, from a 4-hour perspective, we can see our basing structure, albeit it's a large basing structure, but it's still relevant, is here. So if we come down, this will be a little while before it potentially sets up, but we can look for an aggressive down here, potentially on a pullback, or ultimately looking for a breakout to the upside on Kiwi Yen. Going with yen weakness, which I don't agree with, but you know, as we talked about yesterday, it's not that I have a psychological stance not to sell the yen. It's just more that I haven't had a setup too. You know, I think the last play in the yen I had was the test in the aggressive strategy, which was all the way down here. So if you remember this aggressive strategy, I'm not sure if you were here, Leon, for this one, but that entry in here was just unbelievable. Now, unfortunately, I took my profit somewhere here, but that was the only last play on the yen. Imagine if you kept that running. If you kept, this is another thing, that if you like the aggressive strategy, you don't have to use my trade management. You can use whatever you want. And if you're just saying, right, I'm just going to let this run, think how many R that would have been. Anyway, that's YouTube trading talk, right? Going back in and putting your trading view long position and saying, look, I called this down here and now it's all the way up here. Hindsight Harry. Anyway, that was the last time I traded the yen, but Kiwi Yen, in terms of the chart, in terms of the technicals, which is what my expertise is in, I like it long. Just got a little bit before it sets up. And that is all she wrote. So Aussie Kiwi is something I really like. Hopefully it doesn't push through. If it does push through, I can look at a retest. Bitcoin retest I'm looking at over London, although maybe we won't get it. Let's see. And what was the last one? NZD CAD is probably relevant for today as well. I do like that going with the trend. And obviously ECB in a few hours, so be aware if you're trading the euro. I'm not sure if you're trading today, Leon, but be aware obviously at 4:15 of that volatility that may come. And that is it for me. Anything you want me to look at, Leon, before I go off? The floor is yours. You can ask me any questions you like. Yeah, I think that's the best bet, mate. Wait for the dust to settle. Let retail, let the 95% of retail get stopped out. Let's be smarter than them and just be patient, right? This is where the patience comes in, because I haven't taken a trade, even though I want to take a trade. Certainly after having that EU feeling of a very large trade, I want that. But I know that this is not the condition to be trading for me. And I'm pretty sure with your kind of strategy, same for you. Correct. Absolutely. I agree. Right. Well, have a lovely day, mate. I'm sure you're got the nice weather in Greece. I'll be back on tomorrow for the last stream on RTFX before a holiday. Have a good day, buddy. I'll let you type before I go. Yeah, thanks, mate. I'll see you tomorrow. Trade safe. Peace.